To begin this lesson, open the Smart Method Store sample file from your Sample Files folder. And open products.aspx in Design View. We are now going to add some code which will add the selected product to the shopping cart. First, add a row command event handler to the grid view control. You learned how to do this in Lesson 3.2. The row command event runs when the user clicks a button field. Now add the following code to the new event handler. If e.commandName == add to cart. This isn't strictly necessary, since you only have one button field. If you had more than one, you could tell which button field had been clicked by checking the e.commandName property against the command name properties you gave to each button field. Now add the following code inside the if statement. Int row clicked equals convert.toInt32 e.command argument. The command argument property contains the index number of the row that was clicked. This will be used in the next step to retrieve the product ID. Add the following code on the next line. Int product ID equals convert.toInt32 grid view product.data keys row clicked .value. The value property of the gridView product.data keys collection contains the product ID of the row clicked. Now add the following code on the next line. List int products in cart equals list int session cart. As you learned in Lesson 3.12, the session object can contain a collection of objects of different types. These objects can be retrieved using a key. In this case, we're using cart as the key. It is common practice to implement a shopping cart by storing the cart items in a session collection. If the user hasn't added any items to their cart yet, the cart collection will not exist, and products in cart will be null. Note that values stored in the session object have a type of object. You learned about the object type in Lesson 5.13. For this reason, you need to cast the object into the correct type. In this case, list int. You learned about casting in Lesson 5.9. Now add the following code on the next line. If products in cart == null, products in cart equals new list int. As we've discussed, products in cart will be null if the user hasn't added any products to their shopping cart yet. In this case, the code you've just added creates a new list collection. You learned about creating list collections in Lesson 8.2. Now add the following code after the if statement. Products in cart dot add product ID. Now that the code has established that the list collection exists, it adds the selected product ID to the collection. Finally, add the following code on the next line. Session cart equals products in cart. Finally, the updated list collection is stored in session. You'll retrieve it again on the checkout page you're going to create in Lesson 12.8. In this example, you store your shopping cart in the session object. This is a fine solution, but it means the user's shopping cart will disappear after their session ends. If you wanted the shopping cart to persist between visits, you'd have to store it in a database table, although you would only be able to do so for users who had logged in. Session values can run into problems if the website is running on a web farm, where several web servers share a single site. There are solutions to these problems, but you should be aware that they exist. You've now completed Lesson 12.5. Create a shopping cart.